Mark Kistler's Imagination Station is made possible by Simon & Schuster, publisher of Mark Kistler's Web Wizards and Drawing and 3D Books and other fun books for children, and the Mark Kistler Fund for Creative Children's Television, encouraging children to explore their imaginations through drawing, reading, and the arts, and geniuses like you.
Get ready, it's almost time. To show you how to get on the paper what's in your mind. A rocket ship, a pair of shoes, a shooting star, and some kangaroos on the imagination station. On the imagination station. Imagination Station, the most exciting place in the galaxy. Draw and breathe. What an adventure I have for you today. We're going to explore the letter J. We're going to draw jillions and jiggling jellyfish. So we go to the Masters Art Gallery. We're going to visit an American artist named Winslow Homer. Check that next page. Our two Renaissance words that we talked about today are shading and overlapping. Well, what's learned? If you learn those words, you can draw anything in 3D. So if you're ready to draw on 3D, put your hands together, fingers lined up, stretch that down, backward circles, forward circles. They all include some pushy push-ups. Now something new, let's try some deep spraying dance. Get our eyebrows warmed up and our brains ready to flow past that paper. A 1, and a 2, and a 1. You can feel your brain all revved up ready to draw. So let's take our hands and let's flow past that paper. Let me show you what we're going to draw. The trillions of jiggling jellyfish. We're going to draw this creature right here. Little jellyfish. Look at the tentacles here and the bubbles with the shading and the eyebrows. We're going to be drawing that in 3D, making it look very, very cool. So if you're ready to begin, let's do a warm-up drawing. Take our pencil, and you get your nice pad and your pencil sharp. You're just ready to flow across that paper like a genius that you are. I think the warm-up we'll do today is a foreshortened circle. One of those Renaissance words. Put 2 dots on your piece of paper. And then take that sharp pencil of yours and let's blast across. It's called a nice foreshortened circle. Nice dark confident line. Now since our theme is going to be under the water, let's draw some coral reef. We'll draw some coral tubes moving with the currents into the ocean. I'm going to taper it down a little bit wider at the top, and we'll taper it smaller as it comes along. I'm going to put 2 dots across here, then I'm going to put a foreshortened circle in this side. Taper this one in here, coming around. Oh, there's overlapping going behind here. Coming down along here. We used overlapping right here in this tube. You see that coral tube how it goes behind that near one? That's our whole idea. Overlapping. This one is in front of it, so it's overlapping. Now you want to use the other Renaissance for shading.
Hey, Mom.
Put some shading down here. I'm going to use my pencil. Back here, I'll do a nice sharp pencil. I'm going to blend it. Nice and dark on the edge and get it lighter and lighter. See how I do that?
Can we talk?
Like this, and breaking the leg. You can turn sideways.
Sit down. I'll talk to you about something. I'm not upset. So, the past few days, I've been not feeling good because of my stress.
Me too. That's why I'm committed to making it better.
There's a lot of reasons I think you should change.
I can think of a lot of reasons too.
Why? Name one.
To make you happy.
Okay, and?
To make me happy.
Okay, and?
To make Fudgy happy.
Okay, and?
Have a healthy place.
And?
For you to cook.
Yep, and?
For me to be happy.
And?
And
I think it's time for you to teach me being.
Independent.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna make a whole list.
I think.
You can still live with me and be independent.
Yeah, I know, but
And if you ever need help, I'll be here.
it's a lot of reasons you should be. You should teach me to be independent right now.
Yeah, so you can learn.
Yes.
And be prepared just in case you do decide to leave.
Or you would pass away
Okay.
by accident or something.
Yeah, I know.
Like, Nana was died soon because she was sick. If you were sick too, I was sick next month and die,
Yeah.
who's gonna take care of me? I'm not gonna able to take care of myself because I don't know what to do. I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to clean.
Okay. I'm gonna make a list of everything I want to teach you.
Yeah.
Okay? And yeah, another reason is to enjoy the apartment. To live here and be able to enjoy all the rooms, not just have you stuck in here all the time.
Hmm.
I want to do that. I want to do all that, and I'm not.
Hmm.
This year is easier for me to do than last year. Last year was too hard. Now that I have the resources and the extra people to help me, and the motivation,
Hmm.
I know I can do it.
Hmm.
Good. What's this one about? Drawing?
Drawing.
Isn't that beautiful? Make it really dark on the side of the coral reef too.
This is one
You
you
get
just
lighter
saw.
and lighter.
Yep.
I love the
Going back
undershot.
to
That's
me.
one of my favorite parts. You take your pencil, get really
Knitting.
dark underneath that tube there. It pushes it back. That's the whole goal here today. We want to create this
Well,
illusion.
when we go on Wednesday, try not to get so much, okay?
What? I have time for all of them.
Well, don't forget we'll be gone for 2 days. I mean books. We're not to get a lot of books.
I read all the books.
This is a rolled up piece of paper, kind of like a paintbrush for your pencil.
I read at night time.
Goes across from. See what it does? Isn't that a nice blend?
Okay, well you're
Do the
carrying
same
all the
thing
stuff
down
out of the
here.
library.
One swoop. See how fast I did that? Watch this.
Hey,
One swoop
what do you-
to curve the whole end of the tube. One swoop. Oh, I love that. Now I'm going to use the edge of my pencil again. Let's try this one more time. Start at the top, really dark. Coming down. Now, if I'm shading the left side, here's a question for you. Ready? If I'm shading the top right side, the sun's coming from the right. Where is the shading going to be? Good question. Huh? It's going to be down the bottom left side. You always need to determine where the light's coming from. So in this picture, our light source will be up here over the right. I'm going to put it about right here. In fact, since we're under the water, let's put a little sunfish right here. It's going to be reflecting the light. The sun is going to be coming down from the surface, reflecting off the fish and coming in. And then I'm going to use my blending shading on the left side. So always when you're doing a drawing, determine where the light source is coming from, which in this case it's up over here. And reflecting down to the water. Use the undershot. Now, you know what's fun is add some bonus ideas. I'm going to put some bubbles coming out of the coral juice, make it look very underwaterish. Let's put some more bubbles here coming out of the water. And I'm going to shade inside here to make it look hollow. Watch this. Nice and dark, and it gets lighter and lighter. Nice and dark, opposite your light source. I want to add one more tube right in the middle. You can never add enough bonuses. That's my opinion. Bonus ideas are what make your drawing show up and are brilliant. Let's put one more tube. Let's make it look very, very coral reefish. We're going to put another coral reef with that nice dark shadow underneath. Get lighter and lighter. You can use the side of your pencil. I think bonuses are important. So I'm going to put another bonus up here. I'm going to have my brother's feet. You know, I love doing that. I love putting my brother in my pictures. Here's my brother. He went scuba diving. He dove down. He dropped his nickel inside the coral reef tube. Oh no, I've lost my nickel. It must be in here somewhere. He's looking around down here. Hey, this is beautiful. It's an under-ocean jacuzzi. He put some bubbles. He's breathing his oxygen under the water. He has a scuba tank on. That's what I love doing when I'm not drawing every day or reading. My third favorite thing is scuba diving. Yeah. I'm going to put the blended shading right here on that last tube. You know who's an expert at light source and shading besides you, genius artist, is an American artist named Winslow Homer. Let's go to the Masters Gallery and take a look at a painting he did. The American painter Winslow Homer lived in the part of the United States known as New England. He was one of the first artists to make and sell watercolor paintings as well as traditional oil paintings. Watercolors are really beautiful. They're really difficult ones. He loved to paint the ocean. This picture is called The Boat Builders. This was the time of giant sailing vessels. You can see the ships far behind the boys and one ship pretty close to the shore. Now that's what makes it look like it's three-dimensional. Look, the rear ships are larger, and the back ship is far away. Look at that horizon line. One of the Renaissance words. What a beautiful painting. Thank you, Indianapolis Museum of Art, for donating that picture for us to see at the Imagination Station. Now are you ready for the favorite, best drawing of the whole lesson? The Jillions of Jiggling Jellyfish. You might want to flip your paper so you have a new sheet. We're going to spend a lot of time on this one and really create a wonderful scene of just millions and billions of jellyfish. Together today, we'll probably have time for maybe 5 or 6, and then I want you to continue after our lesson's over and draw more. Let's start with that light line. I'm going to use a color marker so you can see a little bit better on the television. I'm going to use a foreshortened circle, and I'm going to draw the top bell shape of the jellyfish. Now this is how professional illustrators and animators will start. They start with a light color of a green or a light blue. They'll block in the drawing. Let's see this? And then they'll take their darkening line and they'll draw the dark detail. Now this green and blue will disappear when you make a film of it. The animator, or since you kids are going to be the famous illustrators and the famous comic artists and the famous scientists and engineers of the next century. You can experiment with this. See this? Look how nice and sharp that looks. Now, I prefer you to start with just your pencils. I'm going to use the dark pens with all these lessons so you can see them. Just use your pencil if that's all you have. That's just fine. Let's blend this along here. Look at that nice S curve. Let's do it one more time. I'm going to use a light marker. You put 2 dots straight across each other. I'm going to balance the picture out just a bit. You have one over here, so I'll put one on the other side to balance it out. Let's use 2 artworks. Now, there's 22 artworks. I know we have 12 Renaissance words we talked about all day long. Now, the artworks are going to make your drawings, your three-dimensional images, just really look brilliant, to really look flavorful to your eye. That's what those 22 augmenting artworks do. They make your drawing look brilliant. Drawing in 3D. Isn't that a great window to your imagination? This is a way you show the world just what a genius you are. I'm going to put a foreshortened circle at the bottom. Now here comes that artwork. This is going to be flow. This is repetition. I'm flowing with the current of the ocean. Make that nice S curve flowing around like this. And there you have 2. Oh, look, the jellyfish in love. Look, it's peanut butter and jellyfish. They're singing along here. We can even make them animated, make you swing along. Under the ocean. I'm going to put another S curve. Roll along here. That's fun. You can have all kinds of adventure with your drawing. This piece of paper, it's your domain. Anything can happen on a piece of paper. Now you want to see a nice effect. We started with our light blocking color. We use a dark pen. Now I'm going to use pencil to shade it. I take my pencil. I use a 2B or a 4B or even a 6B. I think this is that's a 6B. We get it really dark on the side, really dark over here on the edge, and then I'm going to go blend it lighter and lighter. This is the bell of the jellyfish. You know that jellyfish don't have any bones? They don't have a backbone or a vertebrae? They're called invertebrates. They don't have any bones. They're jellyfish. They're just these flowing, almost like liquid creatures. In fact, the jellyfish is made up of 95% water. That's compared to 65% that we have as humans. Pretty much we are majority water. That's why most of us like the ocean so much, because we're a lot of big percentage of us is in the water. Okay, let's blend that across. Look what we did right there. We have dark, it blends lighter and lighter. In fact, I'm going to put one more. Let's put a smaller one over here. I'm going to put 2 dots right there. I'm going to use size. See, I'm going to angle it down. Let's do a whole circle of jellyfish. We'll create a whole scene. Well, a foreshortened circle. See how it gets smaller in the background? I'm blocking it with my light-colored pen. There we are. There's the jellyfish from Long have a little party. I'm gonna draw a forest open. So you know what this could be? A family. We can do a whole jellyfish colony. An undersea colony of jellyfish from the long fin. These are the tentacles. That's how the jellyfish gather their food. They pull their food into the bill so they can eat. I'm gonna do another flowing S-curve right here. And I'm gonna put some shading right here. Using your pencil, you can really blend it nicely. In fact, I'm gonna take a paper stump and blend it across like this. It's dark right here. It gets lighter and lighter to go up. The dark inside here. Oh, you know what this reminds me of? Whenever I draw, it reminds me of adventures I've had in my life. And a few months ago, I had this exciting adventure. I was down swimming and scuba diving with my friends and my brother in Tonga, in the Royal Kingdom of Tonga. We were able to swim really close, 50 feet from these giant whales, huge, like giant submarines under the ocean. We're able to swim next to 7, 8, 9 jellyfish at a time. Some of them were up to 7 feet long. You know that 7 feet? So I took out my drawing journal when we got out of the water, and I would draw pictures. I know that's what you kids too, huh? You keep your daily drawing journal. Whenever you see something extraordinary or something brilliant, you take out your drawing journal and you draw it down. Well, that's a good way to document your adventures in your life is through your drawing. I'm going to use my bold pen here. Now I'm going to come back up. I blocked in these shapes. See how I blocked it in? Now I'm going to draw the darker lines right here. Here we go. You know, my brother, he would be swimming along in the ocean with us, and you'd see the jellyfish, and they're so beautiful. They're purple and green and yellow. They're so graceful. He would be tempted to go up and want to pet the jellyfish, and he'd go, "No, brother, no! The jellyfish, they'll sting you." He goes, "What? They're so beautiful." We go over there and want to pet them. I'm going to do another bell shape right here. And then I'm going to blend with my pencil. Boy, my hands get full of all these drawing supplies. Get nice and dark right here and blend it as it comes across. Look at, we're creating a scene. You should have a contest. See how many of you can draw a billion of these on one piece of paper. Really dark over here. Lighter and lighter. This is just a good, nice blending exercise. You can blend it all lighter and lighter and it comes across. Hey, these are translucent. Did you know that? You know what translucent means? It means you can almost see through it. Just a beautiful blended shading here. Now, I want to see some drawings that you kids have sent in. Let's go to the student gallery and see the genius artwork you've mailed to me.
Student gallery. Student gallery. Gotta find the student gallery. Where is it? Where's the student gallery? Oh, this is it. Nope, not here either. Oh, here it is. The student gallery.
These are some drawings that were sent in from Geniuses Right Here. This first drawing was sent from Philip. He's 8 years old from Connecticut. And he used color to add the shade. He put a shadow down over here. Look, he even sent a picture right here. See that? "Hello, I am Philip, the great genius of the undersea drawing." Look at a great picture. Look at the shark down here with the shadow up. Look at the shadow. Let's look at another picture behind here. Now, this is Ryan from Louisiana. Ryan is 9 years old, 4th grade. Look at the jellyfish. Using the S-curves, using the flow, using repetition, all these authentic artwork. There's a squid, a giant whale, a treasure chest, a submarine. Thanks, Ryan, for mailing that in. It's so wonderful. Let's look at another drawing. Here is Leslie. She's a high school sister. Her younger sister was watching the Imagination Station. She saw it. She decided she'd sit down and draw with her sister. Look at the fish. Isn't that neat? The clam right here. I got pearl. There's a pearl of the clam. And the starfish was shading. And the seahorse over. I want to see drawings that you can mail in to me. Show off your brilliance. Do a nice drawing and mail it to me, Mark Kistler, to Imagination Station, Post Office Box 41031, Santa Barbara, California, 93140. That's very, very important. You need to send in a self-addressed envelope, because if you don't send self-addressed envelope, it's very difficult for me to get you a drawing lesson back to the mail. Well, let's get back into drawing our jillions of jiggling jellyfish. I'm going to add the shading to this one on the side. Now our light source, once again, is coming from up here in this direction. The light's coming down. Take your hand back on the piece of paper. Take your hand and swoop it down. Wherever your hands come across, the surfaces opposite will be shaded. Light will hit here, shading here. Light's going to hit right here. So let's make that jellyfish look 3D with some shading. Now, have you noticed one thing here? I use a little bit of variety, which is the spice of life. in making this a little smaller and this jellyfish is bigger. What happens if we do a whole different kind of jellyfish? Let's stretch one out. I'm going to come over here on this side. I'm going to use my light blocking lines. Let's make a long jellyfish, almost like a squid, and draw a fuller shortened circle, and we'll draw the jellyfish's tentacles coming out here. That's how they get their food over to the bell for their mouth. You know there's over 200 different kinds of jellyfish, and you can go nuts. You can draw some jellyfish small, you can draw some jellyfish long, you can draw some jellyfish really round, some short. You put a fuller shortened circle right here. And then I'm going to put some flowing S-curves. Look at that. Isn't that a nice flow? Make your S-curves repeating that pattern. Oh, I almost forgot to put some action lines. Make your jellyfish really flowing in the current. Uh-oh, I feel that creative energy bubbling to the surface. Pencils on your head. You know what time it is. Time for an art attack. Pencils up. Repeat after me. Stand back. Paper dominator. Aye! Da, 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 da. Oh, I love art attacks. That's what happens. You dominate that piece of paper. You kids are the paper dominators of the next century. I'm going to put all these action lines down here. See what they do? It makes sure the whole jellyfish can take shape. I'm going to come back over to my interesting shape jellyfish and add some shading to it. So we have all kinds of jellyfish, 200 species, all kinds. Put some more down here. And I'm going to put some more shading inside there. Now I'm going to use my paper stump, and I'm going to blend it across. You can use your finger. The reason I'm not using my finger is it makes a big mess when you turn on your lights, or you open your drawers, or you go hug your mom and your dad. You make a big mess, and they go, oh no, you're making a mess. So use a paper stump if you can, or you can use your fingers and just wash your hands after this. And we have a nice space down here. Look at this. Now you can leave it empty if you want to. That's what a Japanese artist would do. They leave lots of neat open spaces to leave it open for your imagination. What I think I'll do is I'll put one more jellyfish right here. I'm going to put one more since we're going to be just paper dominating three-dimensional cartooning geniuses today. I think I'm going to take my paper and flip it. You do the same thing. Let's turn this around. You don't have to keep your drawing pad just still or stagnant or frozen. You can move it around all you want as long as you're comfortable. I'm going to make this one, I'll make it really big. An upside down one like this. Let's put the S-curves flowing right here. Nice graceful lines. Creating a translucent jellyfish. Using the dark line, you can just use your pencil if you want to. You don't have to have the ink and the colors and all the paper stumps. Supplies are nice to have, but they're not, absolutely vital. As long as you have a crayon or a pencil and a piece of paper, you can use the back of a paper plate or a napkin. I don't care what you use, as long as you're drawing, I'm a happy teacher. Let's curve that around. There's an S-curve right there. And then I'm going to put some more shading across it. And what I like to do is to give you an idea of where to go, where to research more ideas for your drawing. You know what I did? Look at it. I was getting myself ready to introduce a website to you. Look at the drawing right here. You see something different? You see something wrong? Look at the shading here. Look at the shading here. Now pull back. What did I do up here? I made a shading mistake. Look, I was talking to you. I forgot. The sun's coming from this. I'm going to turn my paper around just to show you. Look at this. Now, here's the light source up here. Light's coming across, so I shaded the wrong edge right down here. Oops, that's all right. I'll just kind of fake it all, pretend I'm going across. If you want to learn more about jillions of jiggling jellyfish, here's a really cool website for you to visit. This is the website for the National Aquarium in Baltimore, Maryland. You can read all about jellyfish and practically any other kind of underwater creature you can think of. That address is www.aqua.com. Very cool website. And remember, you don't need a computer to express your creative genius on that piece of paper. All you need is your pencil and the paper. You little genius, Jacques Cousteau-Livians. You like that? Let's get back into the drawing. I'm going to draw something to enhance this picture. If you look at it, we're missing something. We're missing you. We're going to put you up here, you little scuba diver. I'm going to block it in. I'm going to put you. You have to be very careful when you're scuba diving here with the jellyfish because they'll sting you, not maliciously, not because they're mean, but that's their defense mechanism. So that's going to be you with your scuba mask. Here's your scuba mask. This is you. That's your mask. You're looking out and taking pictures. Oh, you got a great contract with National Geographic magazine. You're taking pictures. so the whole world can see the beauty of the ocean deep down below. And you put your hair flowing with the ocean. There's your hair flowing along here. There's your bathing suit back here, and then your fins will be up here in the distance. I'm going to give you really good fins back here. Now, we'll draw along. Oh, wait, you get awfully close back here. Actually, you're further away, and that's that Renaissance word, overlapping. We're going to make you look further away. I'm going to darken in your hands, your far away, and you shade around the outside of your scuba mask. Now, the important part that identifies you as the adventuresome photographer scuba diver, boy, that's a mouthful, is your little snorkel. You're free diving. That means you're really, really cool. You're a true sporty diver. You free dive. You don't even need an oxygen tank like I do. You just put some bubbles. I'm going to put some bubbles coming up
Put
on
down the meatball!
jellyfish here. All the little details that make your drawing look cool. Put little bubbles. Little bubbles are going to put some more over here. You know what that reminds me of? The acronym for today that describes you. You are a brilliant, underwater, big-brained life explorer. That's what you are. You're a brilliant, undersea, big-brained life explorer. I love making acronyms about my drawings. You kids, you never cease to amaze me. Let's put maybe one more little jellyfish in here. I'm going to use another one back down here. 2 dots. Put a foreshortened circle. Now let's review the 2 Renaissance words we're talking about here today. We're talking about overlapping and shading. I'm going to overlap the stingers, the tentacles of the jellyfish back behind this one. See that nice flow, how it continues? All these jellyfish can overlap. Look, another one right in here. Let's have a contest. Let's see who can draw the most jellyfish on one piece of paper. You think you can draw about 100? You think you can draw about 1,000? I had one student where I live in Santa Barbara, California. She drew 817 jellyfish, and what did they do about 817 jellyfish on one piece of paper? Her name was Isabel. It was a beautiful, beautiful drawing. She took a piece of paper and taped them all together. Started with one piece of paper and then filled that up and then draw more. Now, what do you think of one more bonus idea? Remember, I love bonuses. Anything to enhance your drawing? Let's put eyelashes. You know, an artist that I really like to emulate, Dr. Seuss's pictures. People have lots of eyebrows on it. So I'm going to let Dr. Seuss influence my style. Do you think that's cheating if I'm using Dr. Seuss pictures to influence my drawing style? Well, it's not cheating. It's a good way to practice. You know how to play the piano, a lot of you do, and you have to copy your piano coach to get the idea, to learn the skills, learn the techniques. Same with learning how to draw. You have to practice. You can copy me. It's a great way to learn. It's not cheating. You just practice, practice, practice. And then you're developing your own drawing style. You know, when I write my children's books to get the stories, I usually do opposite of what other children's book authors will, how they create their books. I draw a picture first,
Don't
and then I
worry.
create a story about my picture.
Everything's
Most people
okay.
write a story and they illustrate. You might want to try this too. Do a picture, pick a theme like today's, maybe the jig of jellyfish
Yes, Peter.
in the ocean, and then write a story about it. I want to share with you a little story starter. This is called Steven's Super Story Starter. Jasper was relaxing, letting the current take him where it would. He wasn't in a hurry. Sooner or later, a tasty fish would poke around too close to a tentacle and snap. He'd have his dinner. Sushi. He decided he'd just drift along lazily and see where he'd end up. He started to get a little drowsy. Then he felt the current pick up a little bit. He started to fight against it, but it grew stronger and stronger, ever so strong. Got sucked him into a dark cave. He tried to grab to the sides, but he lost his grip and tumbled helplessly through the turbulent water. Then his vision cleared. He saw a faint glow at the end of the tunnel of the cave. He knew I wonder where that would end. Can't wait to see what kind of stories you kids write. Thanks for joining me today, you little creative geniuses, explorers of the world. We've reached another end of the undersea adventure. Remember the 3 Ds of drawing? Dream it, draw it, and do it. See you next time. Yeah!
Mark Kistler's Imagination Station is made possible by Simon & Schuster, publisher of Mark Kistler's Web Wizards and Drawing and 3D Books and other fun books for children, and the Mark Kistler Fund for Creative Children's Television, encouraging children to explore their imagination through drawing, reading, and the arts, and geniuses like you. Mark Kistler's Imagination Station is made possible by Simon & Schuster, publisher of Mark Kistler's Web Wizards and Drawing and 3D Books and other fun books for children, and the Mark Kistler Fund for Creative Children's Television, encouraging children to explore their imagination through drawing, reading, and the arts, and geniuses like you.
Aloha! Did you know that means hello and goodbye in Hawaiian? Welcome back aboard the Imagination Station, the spot to be to draw in 3D. I'm Mark Kistler, and you are about to go on an extraordinary journey to the South Pacific. Close your eyes and come along with me to the Imagination Island where everything is possible. This lesson will continue our theme of the letter I. Our two Renaissance words we're going to be learning today are foreshortening and horizon. Two of the 12 words, you learn those 12 and you can draw anything in 3D. Our very special guest today is Osage artist Wendy Pompeo. You know, she showed us how to do a body tracing. Very cool. But now it's time to hop on our pencil-powered surfboard and ride that wave of creativity right into our drawing. Here's what we're going to be doing on Imagination Island. Now, this is based on my experience in the South Pacific, sailing with my two dear friends, Todd and Stephanie McHenry. We were sailing to the South Pacific. We came upon this little atoll island called Palmerston. So we're going to draw this in kind of in honor of them. Let's draw on our warm-up a really cool palm tree hut that I had the pleasure of staying in with the wonderful citizens of Palmerston Atoll. They just opened up their arms and their houses for us when we arrived on the sailboat. They came out and they greeted us all the way out to sea. They came about 3 or 4 miles in the little fishing boats to welcome us to their little atoll. They don't get very many visitors, maybe 30 boats a year will have a chance to stop on this small atoll. Now, an atoll is a sunken volcano that over 1,000, 2,000 years, the volcano will sink in the water, and the rim around it will leave some island standing up, and that's an atoll, very low. And on Palmerston, the highest point on the island was 50 feet. So we landed on the sandy beaches there after the villagers brought us up, and they greeted us, our boats, with coconut and palm trees and flowers. It was just a wonderful greeting. I'm going to draw up a little palm tree hut. Now, I used placement. I blocked in very light with my pencil, 2 vertical lines and middle lines lower and longer. Then I put a shadow right here. Now, I'm going to block in the top. Now, this is the wonderful part of these palm tree huts. They're just so comfortable, so warm. It's in the South Pacific, so it's very, very warm and very gentle breezes blowing over the island. Of course, not during hurricane season, but I'm sure the breeze will get a little more intense. Let's put the slant. I'm using a guideline up the middle. And then what they would do is they build a framework out of the palm tree branches, and then coming up here, I'm going to slant. Now, be careful. A lot of people, when they're drawing the slant of the roof, they'll make it stand up too high like a flag, but make sure it matches that slant in front, all the way down here. We have some wonderful island music by Daring Dynamic Dan, the Music Man. Sounds wonderful. Gets me in the whole village and the whole South Pacific feel. So I'm going to put some texture now on our small hut here. It was such a pleasure. I got to sleep on the underneath the palm trees. I used the palm tree leaves to create this textured roof. Now, I have to tell you, it was a real pleasure to be on dry land after taking 2 weeks to sail from Bora Bora through the high seas and wind and gale winds and big giant waves over the back, and a little tiny 32-foot boat, too. Very, very cool. We became very good friends, even after knowing each other for all the years that we've known each other. Stephanie and Todd and I, we were sailing buddies. Now, I'm going to put the other peekaboo leaves back on the other edge. There's a nice little house. Now, one thing about the windows, they didn't have any glass on this window. On some of the houses, they had glass because some of the yachts would drop off supplies. And the Palmerston community, when you see the shipment, about, once or twice a year, they'll have a big freight shipment stop off, push in the ocean, have to go out in the fishing boats and get their flour and their staple items. I'm going to put the guidelines right here, but it was so fun to be able to share with them like they shared every meal with us on the island. They made breakfast and lunch and dinner, delicious coconut meals and fish meals, a lot of fish. Now, here's texture right here. See that? I made this flap made out of palm tree leaves. The texture is what's important. I'm going to go all the way across here. I'm going to put the bamboo struts that hold this up. Now, inside here, let's put the thickness of the window. See, the cool breeze of the island will just blow through the home. Let's put the doorway. And they, the Palmerston community, would give the yachters their own little place to stay. I was able to stay here by myself, or I could stay in the main house with the family. They were so full of love and so full of hospitality. I almost come to tears when I think about it. It was such an extraordinary experience for a whole week. They don't even know us, and they invite us into their homes and feed us and take care of us. It was a very emotional farewell when we finally had to say goodbye. We had only planned to stay there on the island for a one-day visit just to rest and get our hearts together for the next voyage on to Tonga, because it was a long way through the